Hello, welcome back to my car cave. Today I've got another 2023 car, this time the Mercedes AMG Petronas car. This is the W14 from the 2023 season. This particular version is Lewis Hamilton's Australian Grand Prix, which he, I believe, finished second in. So, as with all these CK model car versions, you get this nice team livery box here. Get some information about the race on the side. Um, they're generally limited edition. This time it's 444, 44 obviously being Lewis's number. The irony of this is that the window box regular, what I would call the regular release, is limited to 250 pieces. So go figure. You turn it over, again, you see it's a CK Model Cars and Paddock Legends version. But what's unique this time is it's die cast. So previously they've all been resin in this box, but this time it's die cast. Not sure why Minichamps chooses die cast for particularly Mercedes or Red Bull. They do. I like the diecast. It's probably my preference, so I'm not disappointed, but interesting. Inside, you get the usual picture of the car, but you don't get all the plastic liner that would normally be in here. There's a placard right here. It's underneath this box there. You can see, I guess, Lewis number 2 for P2. Anyway, so I don't have a use for that, but it's there for those who would like it to display with their model. And as usual, you get this nice information on the base. We have the car here, which looks outstanding at first glance. But let's go ahead and take it off the stand, and we'll take a closer look at the details. Okay, now it's out of the box. Go ahead and take a look at it. The W14 was another unsuccessful season for Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton in particular. No race wins. However, they did finish second in the championship. So, it's all relative. When you win 7 or 8 championships in a row, then, everything less than that is going to be considered a failure. So, um, but regardless, this car I think is one of the more interesting cars on the grid last year. They stayed with the zero side pod design work. But what they added, much like the bathtub feature in the Ferrari that I was super excited to see in 2022, is these air cannons that I was really excited to see on this car. It really set the design apart from everyone else on the grid. I think it's a unique looking feature. When you collect, you know, every F1 car on the grid, having something to distinguish one car from a different car, I think is always intriguing, and I'm into the aerodynamics and that kind of stuff, and just seeing how engineers pursue the same guidelines and come out with different interpretations. And so, um, yeah, it was really this is for the second year in a row, Mercedes is kind of the car I've been most intrigued to see because it's just so different from all the other cars on the grid. So they were back to the Evil Empire livery, and so I'm a Ferrari fan, so obviously I have my thoughts about the Mercedes team and all that. But anyways, I probably should admit that on video, but it's there now. Anyway, so but I do like this black livery. I had hoped it was glossy black. It's in fact like kind of a satin black. It's not quite matte. It's more satin, so it's kind of shiny, but it's not. This would look amazing in a gloss black against the carbon fiber segment. About half the car is carbon fiber, so again, continuing that theme that kind of started in with Williams there in 2022 of more and more carbon fiber being exposed on the car. It's an interesting trend, but not I just don't want every car to be you know exposed carbon fiber at the end of the day, and it seems like we're kind of headed that direction. This one, yeah, again, I think this is a great looking car, even if the performance wasn't um, up to standard. They did improve over the course of the year. They did eventually drop this zero side pod um, design philosophy about I think around Monaco. They came out with a more sculpted teardrop kind of side pod, similar to what Williams did in 2022. Mercedes was kind of the last one to capitulate and go with the Red Bull sort of philosophy uh, in the vein of if you can't beat them, join them. So that's I think Mercedes is kind of definitely headed that direction for 2024. Um, so, anyways, I think you'll probably many champs will make a later season version here that'll have a different side pod. I don't know if it'll be different enough for me to warrant buying this car. The Aston Martin a few years ago was drastically different, so I have two of those from the same season. Um, Anyways, but yeah, so this is a fantastic looking car. Um, yeah, let's go ahead and talk about some of the typical mini champ stuff. And so different than the previous cars I've been doing for 2023. This one actually is die cast. You can feel the weight, although the resin cars have gotten pretty heavy now. But this is, yeah, it's a nice die cast. Therefore, the wheels do turn, albeit not as smoothly as they have in the past. These two are connected, so they turn together, but it's rubbing up against the brake air ducts and that kind of stuff. So it's not real smooth, but it does have rolling wheels for those who are interested in that, and that's because this again is die cast, not resin. Um, yeah, so typical mini champs quality. It's I think amazing decal application. The front wing, I'm not going to beat a dead horse. We all know it's one mold by now, so that is what it is. If they ever change that, I don't know. I went back and looked at a bunch of mini champs, and only for a select few seasons in the 90s, early 2000s that I think they had a two plane front wing. The rear wing they've been a little more consistent. They went put in the split wing this year, so or for 2023 versus 2022. So I think that's a nice addition. Uh, this exhaust tip is the recessed plastic, or the black plastic part, as you can see in there. It's a little bit deeper than on some of the other ones, so it's a little looks a little more authentic. Um, because it's die cast, you don't get any photo etch parts. So these antennas here are plastic. This stabilizer here is plastic. It's a little bit too big in my opinion. It'd be nice if it was metal. Something Spark would have done. Decals look great as usual. This one's tough. It's matte black, so you're gonna see the clear um, decal in between different prints a little more. It's a little more obvious than on a different paint color. That's not many Champs' fault. Obviously, they're not going to do each of these individually, so you do see the clear in here. Um, from a carbon fiber point of view, they're using a checkerboard carbon fiber feature here, which is accurate to the car. The preview car, I think, from Mercedes actually had a striped carbon fiber pattern. This one has the checkerboard, which I think is pretty cool and it's different. It shows that Mini Champs is trying to pay attention. Um, they do on the front wing have the striped carbon fiber here, striped carbon fiber here, here. Um, then on the rear wing, it looks like it's striped as well. And there's definitely the striped carbon fiber inside, and that's kind of nice that it's on the inside. It was not on the inside in the Aston Martin, so, and you got some striped carbon fiber there as well. Um, yeah, looks great. Now, one thing I would complain about, I would say, is this yellow. I don't know if this is the yellow. It's more muted than I would have expected. If you look at the gloves here, those are, in my mind, a bright fluorescent yellow. And I expected Lewis's helmet, as well as these, the camera and these other yellow parts to be a brighter yellow. I've mentioned that the measurement dots here on the mini champs have not been as bright a yellow or fluorescent yellow as they are on the Spark, and I'm wondering if this is really the correct color or not. I think it would look better if it was a brighter yellow, but if that's not in fact what it was, then it shouldn't be. So, anyways, another little dig, not a dig, but just preference. I would have preferred a white tire marking, or even green might be okay, but then you get the rain car, which I don't want. Um, White or yellow probably would have been better. I don't like the red. It looks better on this camera than it does in person. It's kind of dark red and it kind of gets hidden. You've already got a car that's all black, so it's not super. It's not my first choice, but I want to get one of these cars early, and I may just look for a different version. Maybe you know. George Russell had a green helmet, I think, at this race or early in last year's season, so I might try to pick that one up. It might look pretty good. Anyway, so yeah, I just want to go over this, and it's typical Minichamps quality. I don't want, we talk a lot about that, and you know, in other videos. So if you're familiar, you can, what the pluses and minuses are. But yeah, I think overall this is a great looking model. Super happy to have it in my collection. Um, if you liked the video, go ahead and hit like, hit subscribe. I'll have some more videos as future cars come out.